Okay, I'm gonna have to do me a little mute on the other side.
Oh,
It's not starting over here.
we are live. It says 10 seconds so far.
Ah, there we are. There we go. I just needed to needed to mute me over on the other page. You know, I'll admit it. I'm a boomer.
You're pretty good most times, though.
Yeah, I'm getting. As far as boomership goes, I'm self-taught on the computer for the most part, and I don't think I do half bad. I am, however. Are you on your computer or cell phone right now?
I'm on my computer.
All right. I'm going to try to shift my view here a little bit, see if it works. No, it didn't. Because we're supposed to be wide right now, and we're just freaking.
We're just little squares.
We're just little squares. Oh, that didn't work. That didn't work. Oh, look at that. Ha ha ha. That didn't work. That for sure didn't work. But what the hell?
Hey! Keep on trying, man. Look at that.
It's showing. Still, this is fine. You guys don't need to see what's going on behind me anyway.
I was out in the driveway working on a car, so I'm a little. My hands are a little scuzzy, and I got some dirt in my face.
You know what? I don't really even confess this. I was outside taping my grow, and by the time I got done messing around out there, it was already pretty late. And I got all my stuff downloaded. I started working on it, and I looked and went, "Oh my god, I got 15 minutes to get my shit together." I hadn't even put up any postings yet as far as putting the show out. And such is life. Such is life. But I did buy me some Coca-Colas this week.
Yeah, I'm on the do.
Yeah, I gotta say, normally I do my water, but I had to buy these Cokes this particular because if anybody knows the story of my street nickname, you probably know this, G-Bay. We were in Discord one day. Talking about no, I don't no Diet Coke for sure. That's the devil's piss. But talking about nicknames, if we were in a street gang, what would our nickname be? And I don't know what possessed me. I said Dusty Beaver.
Dusty OG.
So I had to get the OG.
That's awesome.
Sorry, not sorry.
No.
Big news in my life, because the news doesn't get much bigger than this. I rearranged my living room a little bit, and my desk is in a whole totally different location than people are probably used to. It's still got the same old lady furniture as was alluded to earlier in another Discord room this past week, but they don't know what they're talking about. They're sitting there on their Naugahyde sectionals.
A friend of mine wanted the show here. So.
What's that?
A friend of mine wanted the link for the show to watch. He
good deal.
He messaged me. He said, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" I said, "I'm actually joining a friend on a show. I'm going to be jumping on in a minute." He said, "Oh, send me the link." So.
Oh, excellent. The more the merrier. I'm actually not really paying attention to the chat, which I probably should do. Let me see.
I seen all the boys and girls in there.
Okay. Let me go take a quick look-see.
Yeah, it was funny.
Oh, there they all are.
I tried to divert all my work for tomorrow. I have a little bit of work going on. I was like, you know what? This hash bash thing looks pretty cool. If I leave at like 5 a.m., I could be there.
Oh, my God.
But I started doing the math, and it ain't working.
Too
much work going on.
Plan for next year, G-Bay. Just plan for next year. It's as cheap or as expensive.
History, that one. I don't know about it. Maybe you can elaborate a bit on what happened.
I sure can. There was a man named John Sinclair, In fact, I'm going to read you a little bit the history of Ann Arbor Hash Bash that I pulled up. Hash Bash is an annual event held in Ann Arbor, Michigan, originally held every April 1st, but now on the first Saturday of April at high noon. High noon, get it? On the University of Michigan Diag. A collection of speeches, live music, street vending, and occasional civic disobedience are centered on the goal of reforming federal, state, and local marijuana laws. And that is very much the focus. The very first Hash Bash was held on Saturday, April 1st, 1972.
That's awesome.
5 years before I graduated high school, so I wasn't there. In fact, I haven't really been to any of the Hash Bashes until recently. Shame on me. I just haven't. In response to the March 9th, 1972 decision by Michigan Supreme Court declaring unconstitutional the laws used to convict cultural activist John Sinclair for possession of 2 marijuana joints. He went to prison for that. This action left the state of Michigan without a law prohibiting the use of marijuana until after the weekend of April 1st, 1972. Chef Ra was a fixture of the Hash Bash for 19 consecutive years before his death in the late 2006. Before his death in late 2006. The second annual Hash Bash in 1973 attracted approximately 3,000 participants. It's grown. That year, State Representative Perry Bullard, a proponent of marijuana legalization, attended and smoked marijuana, an act which later earned him criticism from political opponents. Oh, go frickin' figure, huh? Hash Bash participants did not encounter significant police interference until the 7th annual event in 1978, a year after I graduated high school, when local police booked, cited, photographed, and released those participants alleged to be using illegal substances. But the Hash Bash quickly came back to become a major festival in Ann Arbor. Now, that doesn't sound like much right now, but like I said, I graduated in 77. That I would have been a freshman in college in 78. And well, we smoked on campus quite a bit. To go out and support it at that point, it was so illegal. I always tell the story of I dreamt of the day and be talking with my college roommates and friends about the day when cannabis would someday be legal, and they laughed at me. They thought it was a freaking pipe dream. And that's the kind of atmosphere that we were living in at the time. The 70s were not, I mean, it was fun, fast cars and all that. But
I don't think, like cannabis use it was never really mainstream. Like it was in the little groups, I think back then. I was just a kid jumping nut to nut. I wasn't born until 81, so I wasn't there for none of that shit. But to me, it seems like it was accepted in the groups, like, you know what I mean? Like, but then as a social norm across the board, employment.
Yeah, don't get caught smoking outside though in public.
Yeah.
You had to hide behind the bushes to smoke. It wasn't,
Yeah.
I mean, on campuses and stuff, it was a little easier, but still you did not smoke openly. People would, it was frowned on. Frowned on.
Even in the 90s.
Our friends in the prohibition states are still doing the exact same things I was doing in 1977 and 78 and 79. The 2009 Hash Bash on April 4th celebrated the medical marijuana victory in Michigan State and was the largest gathering that the event had seen in years. An increased turnout, which the Michigan Daily attributed to the wider acceptance of recreational drug use both on campus and across the country. So from 78 to 2009, that was a 31-year struggle to get to that point. And there was a lot of people behind the scenes working to get us to that point. And over the years following the Hash Bash event has been steadily climbing to some 10,000 to 15,000 attendees. And as usual, addressed by activists, musicians, writers, and celebrities such as Ed Rosenthal, Virgil Bonero, DJ Short, Adam Brook, George, Jorge Cervantes, I called him George, Nicholas Zettel, Danny Danko, John Sinclair, the guy that actually got arrested. He passed actually 2 years ago. I heard his wife speak. She was very moving, and I have
Danny Danko is good too. He was I don't know exactly his position, but at High Times he was there for quite a while. He's got a great podcast. It's got a catchy ass name as if I'm forgetting it right now.
Yeah. Coleman Young the second, he was a mayor of Detroit for a long time. Tommy Chong, who is going to be there this year. Laith Al Said, Al Sadi, Keith Stroop, and many more. I could have just skipped that Laith's name, but I thought I'd give her a shot.
You tried
Water like a mofo. Let me apologize right now, Laith. I really didn't mean to do that.
That's it.
No, I want to say this guy got like 10 years for those 2 joints. 10 freaking years. It was some horrible amount of time for 2 joints.
Michigan's fairly progressive. Like, because I look around Ontario to try to find some events to go to, other than just parties. I'm not in it for the partying really. Like, don't get me wrong. I like to see the girls dancing and have fun, listen to music, get food, all that. It's fun, but I'd much rather go to an educational kind of thing where it's the growers mainly,
exactly,
and consumers not so much a recreational level. I have to say this because I'm not a medicinal. I don't have a prescription. Well, actually, I do have a prescription. Never mind. This fucking conversation is backfiring on me big time. But I don't use it for like debilitating things. I use it medicinally for mood calming and just relaxation and stuff like that. But like some people really need some of these compounds in this plant for some serious shit. That's the kind of meetings I want to be at or go to or learn about.
Exactly.
It's just hard to find. But Michigan, even though it's a bunch of wooks sometimes, you guys are doing some good shit. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like breaking a stone and progressing all at the same time. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it is. How do I say it? It's Michigan does have some great laws. I'd have to say, and we were just talking about this in Discords earlier. I'd say Colorado is pretty equal to what Michigan do. But the thing of it was, our laws came from voter incentive and voter driven, and it can't be just a lot of the states legalized through legislation bills that they made in the houses and senates of their local states and presented to their voters. And the voters said, yeah, that sounds good, or no, that sounds like a bunch of horseshit. To those that are still saying no to the horseshit, thank you. Keep doing that. I understand how hard it is to say no to a bad law, but say no to a bad law, because once you have a bad law in, getting a good law in, nearly impossible. Fortunately, we have had a couple before Michigan actually got through with their grassroots bill and made it into a law. We had a lot of fits and starts and votes that didn't pass through. I was sitting there going, hopefully, but I didn't want a bad law, but I sure didn't want to not be legal.
Yeah.
So that's how that all came down. And
if any of you guys are still in the red states or areas where it's illegal and you're
the illegal states,
legality, look to where people have had it legalized but have complaints, because they've already done the work of, oh, okay, it's here and it's legal. Oh, fuck, we fucked up and didn't get. The main thing I see is consumption. In Canada, we don't have consumption lounges. There's loophole kind of places, but it's still not just like a bar where you walk in, hey man, I'll have a bowl of this, whatever, you know. Consumption areas, even a dispo where you could go in and get product and chill out for a minute, man. Play a game of pool, watch a TV show. You know, like it's just weird how it's like.
Yeah, to my knowledge, we call those compassionate care centers, and you can bring your own weed there. And the whole point of it was be so you could meet up with your patient and exchange if you needed to, or just hang out and, see what's going on. We have those that in our bill, but because of the fiddly fucking around from our commercial people that didn't want us to steal their little bit of thunder and their little bit of profit. I can't even think of the name of the group. We fought these people, but yeah, they made it so they put their fingers in. We got one or two consumption lounges put in before they did some finagling legislation and put the kibosh on those. And those are things we want back and we're trying to get back. We have 2 good consumption lounges and we need more. And then that's through the medical program that those came in, I believe.
Where is the consumption lounges in Michigan?
I want to say the one is, it's on the east side. I don't think it's all the way to Detroit. Plymouth, maybe?
Okay.
Plymouth, Michigan. And the other one is north, I think. I know that there was a consumption lounge over by Freedom Green up north, Kalkaska way, where Tara used to work.
Okay.
Tara Nation.
Yep.
They had a consumption lounge there. I don't know if that was a private kind of a lounge or if that was a legislated type of lounge. Hey, Red, I see that you are in the audience there, and we are talking about the Hash Bash right now. And if you would like to come on and talk some about that, I'd be more than happy to send you a link and have you join us. Just let me know.
I forget whose picture it was, maybe Becca's, but there was a photo. He was photo bombing. In the background, like.
I will say for activism of the people that I know in Michigan, Red has gone to the hash bashes a lot more than anybody else of the people I know. And in fact, this is what is kind of a segue to the next part of what I wanted to bring up with concerning the hash bash. Everybody knows, if you know me at all, knows that I go to the gym 3 times a week and take yoga classes and hang out with all the other silver sneaker ladies and gentlemen. We get our stuff done early in the day. The old younger people, the professionals, don't come in until after usually working hours, the hanger outers and stuff. But anyway, I digress. When I first started this 2 years ago, it's been almost 2 years now, I was very quiet about cannabis use, anything cannabis, because it's in an area that I would call it West Michigan upper class, and they're just literally in the sign up stuff that said no cannabis or beer writing on your shirts when you come in, because they're Christian reformers all through and through out through there. But neither here nor there. I kind of keep it to myself. I didn't want anybody to be judging me for cannabis use, and they can judge me for being a IOT beach. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, just in the last few, some of the medical people that I hang out with, people have gotten cancers and different things, and I've talked to them about cannabis use and cancer. And so several people know that I grow it and that I promote it and that I use it. And it was brought up today, the hash bash. Let's see, that's where I'm losing my mind. I thank Hilda for helping me work out and get a little bit stronger, because I'm going to be doing a lot of walking tomorrow. And I do mean a lot of walking. You would be surprised. And they asked where. I said, I'm going to the hash bash, blah, blah, blah. And so then the questions started, and we're at the hot tub at this time. We've already done our classes. And I was able to speak to what the hash bash was, what I do as far as being a medical grower. And
you got to lay some knowledge down to your fellow gym people.
Well, yeah, because most of them, they're all boomers. Every freaking one of them is a boomer. And not all of the boomers, let's
Not
face
cut from the
it,
same cloth as you.
no. Some of the early boomers and the later boomers are different kinds of boomers. And I am a later boomer. And I started talking about the medicinal end of it. And of course, I always go to my favorite go back. I've been smoking this for 50 years, taking it in different forms for 50 years. And it's the only drug I'm on, except for a water pill, which I forget to take 3/4 of the time anyway. And it was for my own benefit because I have a little bit puffy ankles every now and again. So that's like an optional pharmaceutical that I'm on. And that's really all of my numbers when I had my last physical fell smack in the middle where they were supposed to be. Basically unheard of for a person 65 years old. I'm going to be 66 1 month from today, from yesterday. See, start to lose it. And
That's cool. You're
I feel
turning 60
great.
this year?
I'm turning 66. Yep, in the
Nice.
beginning
I'm
of
turning
May.
44. There you go.
There you go. Woo, woo.
Yeah.
Shout out to all my other May babies. I know there's
28
Kingfisher
for me.
And Stony Rockefeller. We're within the 2 days of each other.
Nice. That's 4 of us in May. We can probably get a good group together.
I'm thinking that at the beginning of fall there was a lot of hanky panky going on because I know so many people that were born in May. So
It's getting cold out.
in May. They start to get cold out. Yeah, let's snuggle under the covers.
Struggle snuggle.
I am going to head into the Hash Bash a little early because I'm hoping to stop by and see the newest member of the Michigan Bros Grow Show. I won't mention any names, but we all know her as a friend, not friend so much as, but as Red Sutter's new raison d'etre. And yeah, I'm hoping to stop over early enough to get a sneak peek at her. And from there, I'm going to go also early and I'm going to meet up with Chris from Country Roots. I don't know if any of you know him. I'm sure a lot of you do. He is going to be handing out pamphlets there. And so I'm going to do my activism and hand out the pamphlets and let awareness more than activism, that is. But the activism happened in the hot tub today because my actual yoga instructor just nonchalantly said, "Do you think I could grow cannabis?" And I said, "Darn straight you can go grow cannabis, Hilda, and I'm going to help you." And
Yeah.
so
Okay. Here's the question I'm going to pose to you because I seen the excitement in your eyes when you said that and everything. For me, I yearn for the moments where my friends are like, "Come help me grow weed," because I'm like, "Oh, my time to shine, baby." Oh man, so it's such a great feeling when someone crosses that threshold that they've probably stayed away from for years because of the stigma, whatever. Right now they're seeing the walls fall down.
Exactly. Well, Hilda, my yoga teacher, also is a beautician, and she cuts my hair. So anybody who's ever gotten their hair cut, she's got her own private salon, and she also gives facials and massages. That woman's an all-around woman. I swear to God, love Hilda. But I had talked to her at that time when she was cutting my hair one of the times about me growing the cannabis and has she ever tried it. And she also has like 6 kids. And she brought up, that her son had her try an edible, but she ate too much. And she just basically fell asleep because she got too high and just, you know how it happens.
It happens.
And I said, that's that's not probably the best first time experience to have. And, we kind of talked about that. But then in the hot tub today, she said, "Do you think I could grow?" And I brought, today is my son-in-law's birthday. Shout out to him, not to change the subject, but she brings in eggs from her chickens because she has chickens. And so I got a dozen eggs for him for his birthday because who doesn't want farm fresh eggs for their birthday, right?
And
So
today's market, I don't know.
Yeah, she's real natural gal. She's got chickens and ducks, and she's in an area she can't have bigger animals, but if she could, she would. She's got the farming Jones and
Eggs
her.
are damn
And,
expensive right now, so that's a good.
yeah. Oh, yeah. She charges me $5 for them.
Yeah, that's a good price for a nice.
so,
Okay.
but so this is post getting the eggs from Hilda today for my son-in-law's birthday, and she asked about it. I said, yeah. And at that time, I just thought of clones. And I'm going, you're going to have to wait a little bit, though, because I got to start my plants, and then I'm going to clone them, and then I'll give you the clones. She goes, I'll pay for them. I go, no, you won't. I'm going to give you these clones because I want you to grow. So then I kept talking, and then I thought about it. I go, well, I could also give you seeds if you'd rather start them from seeds. And she goes, which one is better? So then we had a conversation with everybody listening, mind you, which is better, seeds or starting it from clones, and explain the difference between having a taproot and having the spreaded, more developed fibrous feeder roots and watering roots. And yeah, she was very fascinated. I explained that the taproot gives you a better advantage if you go into a drought or something like that, of not losing your plant. But
Find it like better for natural watering and strength of the plant. Like I find it more rude, but the clones are just bushes. That's what
yeah. That's kind of it too. And so she was asking, she goes, well, what do you think is better? I said, well, if you can grow from seed, I prefer seed. And I said, I can give you some seeds. No problem. So I think that's what we're going to do, is so she doesn't have to sit and wait for my seeds to pop and get big enough and then clone some. I do have one clone right now in my garden, and I bought it last weekend. There was a lovely shoreline hash smoking judging event that I went to. Also sponsored by Country Roots, shout out to them. And they also had an educational symposium, which I wish I wasn't so high for, but yeah, they talked about all the good stuff that we talk about with our grows, and how we fertilize, and problems like septoria and the bugs and all that. And septoria got my attention. I was getting high and chit-chat, and I heard something about septoria and went, whew. Can it be cured? And we're going to talk about that with my new grower Hilda, though. Hilda's going to get some seeds. And I said, well, Hilda, what you need to do is you go over to your composted pile of manure from your chickens and your ducks, the composted, because you don't want to get your stuff too hot, and put that around your plants when they get going. And I said that'll be good for a start. And we can go take. I grew a seed out here that was freaking potent from nothing but the soil. It never got fed. It got hardly any sun. And if she does twice as much as what I didn't do, she'll be fine.
Yeah.
So,
oh, sometimes it's like that. You'll have a plant. Some cannabis, honestly, like Ty, with my buddy Ty and Chad here, he might remember this weed we smoked. There was a kid, Clayton, back in our high school, tall, skinny, fucking pale kid, lived out in the country. And he grew this weed one year that was
Clayton.
Yeah, it was so fucking potent, man. It was like
It's crazy potent. The first really good weed I ever smoked.
Well, no, it was like, I don't know, we were grade 10 at least, so we've been smoking a little bit, I've at least smoked 100 joints by the time I hit this weed. And fuck, this stuff
that's cool.
Good. It was good.
Yeah, you could recognize it as good. That's a good part about it.
You couldn't keep it in your locker. You smoke
skunky-ish? Yeah.
Back
then, things stunk.
Oh, yeah.
Things stunk good.
One of those 90s.
Look, wait. The 90s, 1990s, we talking? God, those were good years.
Oh, yeah.
That was right
Super
before
light green.
That's before things really went crazy and blew up in the cannabis world, as the 90s, early 90s there.
Yeah. We used to get some hash through the biker world, and it was that just super good, like kind of gummy black stuff. And
when you say biker world, are they Harley biker worlds or just the biker world?
Not the vroom vroom bikers like I ride.
Not the wheeze. That boom boom boom.
Oh, I just put a new exhaust pipe on this evening. Oh, it's obnoxious.
I was out videoing my grow. My grow looks like freaking I would say tornado hit it, but it looks like winter hit it, and I didn't take care of a lot of shit. And some of my blackout was fucking flipped over. You'll all see it next week when I actually have the videos edited and put together correctly. But yeah, I had shit flying around, and I fixed that part anyway. But flooded pots because I didn't pull my shit off I didn't do anything with my hydroton and pots basically at all. Stacked a few pots, but didn't really do anything. And winter floods them bitches. And where the hydroton was really full, it looks pretty good. Some of the pots are real green, but I mean, that's not a biggie. That doesn't hurt a fucking thing. Those green pots, it looks just, we call it patina. Patina. They got a deep, deep, fuzzy patina right now.
You know what? But, people put like seaweed and shit into their stuff.
Oh my! Well, I wouldn't call this seaweed so much as algae. But anyway, we can always power wash that shit off if I'm really feeling froggy about it, or let it dry up and just brush it off because you can do that too. But I definitely started the siphoning process. I got two of my pools siphoned out, and another two they might be done right now because I had to come inside. It was getting cold, and the show had to run. Time waits for no one.
Looking at the backyard, it's pretty rough out there. I still have, I want to say, out of the 10 or 12 plants I had out there, I probably have 6 or so of the skeletons still in the ground.
Yeah, I pulled some of those too. Yeah. And then you can tell they were seed stock too because they had big ass taproots.
Then there's the dog bombs, Those are fun. The after winter dog bombs,
No, I don't want to think about those.
Yeah, you got dogs too, right? So you just like me, all about
Yeah, I got the front yard dog and the backyard dog, so I've got 2 yards to clean up. Although I will take that over one really, really double thick one. Any day.
It gets fun. Too bad it wasn't good fertilizer.
Yeah. Our friend Kitty she's got more of them. But they're little dogs. So I would prefer to have a little dog about right now. In fact, our friend G-Bay here went and saw our friend Kitty.
I did.
You want to tell us about how wonderful Winnipeg is?
Yeah, Winnipeg's flat, boring, cold.
Cold.
It was nice. Kitty we made an arrangement to get a vehicle offer, so I flew out. I was going to say by plane, but what the fuck else am I going to fly out there on?
I flapped and flapped, and it was a fucking hard time, but I got there.
Headed to
I got there.
No, we went there, stayed a day or two, and got to hang out there and play with her 7 dogs. And then
yes, I think there are 7 right now. They're temporary 7. They're gonna bring it down to 4. Anybody out there, if you know anybody that wants a cute little, she's got Shih Tzus, she's got 2 females. They are cute as a bugs here. 2 females and a male that's, I don't know if he's 2 now or 1 or 2.
I jumped on the bed.
I better not give it away. I don't know if I think she's keeping that one. I think she's actually rehoming her stud, but he won't be a stud when he gets rehomed. But he is a good boy. And that's Dabber-Doo. And if any of you want a dog named Dabber and you think a Shih Tzu is your thing, get in touch with me and I will let you get in touch with Kitty. And she will give you a good price on a really sweet, sweet boy or girl. Those girls are young. They would be already gone, but being the frugal person she is, one of them has a little stenosis breathing, so she wants to get that fixed before it's sold. So scheduling in Canada for dogs isn't any easier than for their own medical. And since they are getting of an age now, she's also going to, I believe, have them fixed so that, especially the male, because she does not want that one going to someone that is going to necessarily stud him out. She doesn't want him studded out anymore. He needs to be in a home a smaller home where he can be loved and cuddled and shown a good time. So that's my pitch for Miss Kitty. I hope she was okay with that. The other little girl, she's got a little bit of an overbite, which little mustaches that they have, you can't even tell. I don't know how they actually could tell.
So many of those little dogs have that.
And that one also on a showing, it was an unfortunate time, but there's some special needs people came over to look at her dogs, and there was more than one. It was a foster home situation. And one of the foster children, I won't say they abused it, but they accidentally hurt one of the dogs. And there was at one point a fear that it could have had luxating patella, which is why that one didn't go out. That was one with the overbite as well, but that was all better. It was young enough; it just repaired itself. PTL, praise the Louis or whoever. 'Cause there ain't no Lord help on that poor thing. Anyway, yeah, that dog's good. They're all good, and I go on. And speaking of spring, what are you going to run this year, G-Bay? I know
This year I have a couple things in the tent here. Ghost Beach times a couple Grape Hoolie crosses. Grape Hoolie times Pack a Punch. Grape Hoolie times Ghost Beach. Oh, fuck. I haven't been in there looking at the labels lately.
Oh, I'm sorry to put you on it like that.
That's all good. I always start a handful of different strains, right? So it's hard to keep track exactly. But I know I have Primal Punch in there. The seeds that I got from you, actually. Then I got...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, not really, but kind of. I can't take
in a roundabout way, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hi, Tara.
I've got Rocky Mountain Strawberries, which was a gift from Noof. They are Dark Horse genetics, because the story behind that is crazy. Dark Horse Genetics, they do... The guy who runs that has a podcast or whatever, and he was doing a thing, giveaway or whatever. And I guess he used to be like a model when he was a teenager, and he was on like playing cards, some sort of card that was like a playing card, and it was like called like Hot Boys or something like that. But he was making fun of himself, and he's like, if any of you motherfuckers can find that shit, send that to me, and I'll give you a lifetime supply of my genetics or whatever. I forget how it works out. Once a year, he ships him all his gear or whatever.
And Noof in his
craziness, found a box set of these Hot Boy cards for $100 or $200, wherever the fuck he found, eBay or fucking somewhere. Bought it and sent it away, and sure enough, now Noof gets a constant supply of these Dark Horse genetics seeds, right? The Bruce Banner guy, like the guy who did the Bruce Banner. So I went to visit him one time, got a bunch of seeds, and that's where that's come from. Rocky Mountain Strawberries. It's, I think, Strawberry Fields times Bruce Banner, or Strawberry something times Bruce Banner. And then, yeah, the Pack of Punches from Hurtin' Albertan. And the Grape Hoolies from Hoolie. So, yeah, it's a lot of community gear in my tent.
The Hoolies from Hoolie.
The Hoolies from Hoolie. Yep. Well, let's go. I'm going to take a look here. I can't move the camera, but give me 1 second.
You're okay. You're okay. Go ahead and look. I will talk about what I have planned on running this year. And as usual, my appetite is bigger probably than my ability, but we're going to give her a shot anyway.
They're looking good, though. They're nice and healthy.
That's excellent. Like I said earlier, I have one clone going, which I got last weekend, and that is my favorite Rainbow Belts.
Yeah, you've been liking the Rainbow Belts. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Oh man, those look really good, G-Bay.
This is Golden Gold times Dalton's Pond, which is a caribou creation.
Yep, I remember.
And then what is this one? This is
I remember I wanted to call it On Golden Ponds, and they thought that was it made it sound like because it was Dalton's Pond was named after his grandpa.
Ghost Beach times Grape Hoolie.
Nice.
What is this?
That little one you got is about the size of my Rainbow Belts right now down there.
That's the Rocky
Mountain ones. Those are perfect.
Yeah, they're nice. I'm right into this stage after the seedling stage. These are actual plants now.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to worry about if you missed a watering date by a
Primal
little bit,
Punch
they're not going to
F3.
just completely die on you.
Yeah.
Although I know you're not the type to do that, I might be a little bit.
The Primal Punch, man. The ones the major was messed with had like peach terps and stuff on it. He made some rosin and
Cool.
brought it to booth camp here. And oof. That's the Ghost Beach times Grape Hoolie. And Sour D times Grape Hoolie. Now I know the Sour D was an auto. So that's going to be like a fast kind of thing. But that's a nice looking little plant. Check that out. Sour D. It was nice. I brought some of these Sour D to actual farm with the X there. And a lot of people turned their heads when I lit that up.
Well, I have a fuck ton of seeds that I want to run this year. And whether I'll have room for them all remains to be seen or not. But I'm going to give her a shot anyway. I want to shout out Patrick at AB Seeds. He didn't give me. I bought some seeds from him over a year ago at one. I believe it was the Halloween event. That's the one that Val Always Sweet went with me to 2 years ago. I guess a year and a half ago. Anyway, I gotten some apple snacks from him, and I ran them, and I put them in a contest, and I took third place, and boy, I was happy, and he was happy. But since then, even before I did all of that, I had got other combinations from him, and I'm going to put 3 of those in my garden. The first one is just called Rainbows, which is Rainbow Monk by Rainbow Pebbles. That'll go really good with my rainbow belts. Do you see a theme already starting here, everybody? Just to keep going with that, I'm going to also run some Tahitian Tree, which is Rainbow Pebbles by Skittles, Cake by Nerds.
That is my favorite drink.
Tahitian Treat. This is just tree because it must get to be pretty big. Tahitian Tree. And then the third one that, and I know for sure these were the most recent ones I purchased, Cowboy Cake, which is Cowboy Yeti by Vanilla Kush Cake. And
Cowboy Cake, yeah. He said?
Cowboy Cake is what he calls it. Cowboy Yeti by Vanilla Kush Cake. And I do have to shout him out also. He gives these little pendant Julios with his seeds. That is his seed container instead of your little plastic
put it on
thing. There's actually, I have one already out to show you better. See, it's already out. Wear it as a pendant. You can wear it as a pendant around your neck and collect seeds or put them in it or however you want to do. Yeah. So I'm going to have, those are 3 of them that I'm going to run. What do you got right there in your hand, G-Bay?
This was another Golden Gold times Dalton's Pond. And it's weird. I just gave it a stem rub, and I got a smell of something that I can't pinpoint it. It went away too quick, but I got like a flash of like somewhere in elementary school smelling something. That's weird. You ever get that?
Somewhere in elementary. Usually if you smelt it, you dealt it in elementary school.
It's like you took me halfway to the memory.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
But I got it again, that same smell. So it's like I can't wait to get this bigger and get that, whatever that is. Oh, it's different. Anyways. Yeah, there's a couple more Golden Goat times Dalton Pond. Another Sour D times Grape Hoolie. Pack a Punch times Grape Hoolie. And then a couple more Ghost Beach times Grape Hoolies. So basically a whole crap ton of Grape Hoolie crosses. But yeah. Power to the fish fertilizer, man. That stuff keeps them green. That's for sure. I like it. Oh, and I'll show you this. I showed it on my show the other day, but check it out. I got my money tree cuttings showing root. Don't mind my yucky fingernail there, but
That's all right.
yeah, it's kind of neat.
Oh, nice.
I was
Nice,
pruning
nice.
money.
Yeah, as long as you keep that water clean, it doesn't matter. Those roots will pop right freaking out.
Oh yeah, I could probably do with a cycle.
That actually didn't look too bad, but that's more for the aeration than anything.
It's funny. I decided to get growing again and fired the tents up and everything, and then within a month or two, we had a 4-day power outage.
Yeah, that was the most unfortunate for you, G-Bay.
Oh yeah.
Um,
It's still going on. There's
oh,
still places close by without power. There's still roads close by. Tree cleanup going on. I got a big tree limb sitting on my shed right now.
this isn't going to sound very magnanimous of me, but better them than you.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I can't wait to see you tomorrow either, Miss Tara Wilson. Tara is also going to the Hash Bash. Tara and I have been together at several Hash Bashes. Always a good time. This year we won't have our sidekick Becca because Becca just has her new baby with her, and that's it's still pretty new and a little too much spring baby right at this point because it's going to be cold and rainy and windy, and yeah, she doesn't need to be bringing her sweet Aurora out in that weather. But like I say, maybe I'll get to meet her beforehand. She's going to Rainbow Belts, yeah. And I wanted to also point out, and I'm going to throw it out there for anybody that might have a cut of the actual rooted cut. So I tried to do Gorilla Glue last year from Tara, and her at the time that I was demanding her give me a cut, it wasn't in good condition, and she had to recondition it. It had a little bit of a prickage, and she had to do some treatment on it and clean it up. But I tried anyway, and that bitch didn't take. But I am running Gorilla Goat, and Gorilla Goat is Gorilla Glue by Golden Goat, and so I think a little trade might be in order. If I know there's a couple of cultivars out there, and yeah, hit me up if you want it, or even if you want maybe that Rainbow Belts to try. I'm feeling real peckish about putting this stuff out. Peckish is the wrong word. Bullish.
I miss really good hash because I made a shit ton of rosin out of like older outdoor material and just wasn't stored right. I'm not a hash head and whatever, you know what I mean? So it's fairly dark and it's a little heavy and kind of, nighttime medicine. It's not really something you want to be bringing around showing off with it. Anyways, it works really well for certain applications. It's not good for the flavor per se. It's got kind of like that old hash taste to it,
Yes. Yeah.
as opposed to the terps that we're after nowadays. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's terpless, basically. So like I've been craving some like really good hash, and I just can't bring myself to go buy any because I just have so much disposable cannabis around here right now. So I'm just burning through it. But man, I can't wait till I'm caught up. Make some real tasty stuff, or go get some real tasty stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of hash, and I know I'm jumping around, and I haven't even eaten my chocolate mushrooms yet. While I was in the hot tub today, extolling the virtues of cannabis to all of my ladies of a certain age, and one gentleman who ended up and left. I don't know if I insulted him, but oh well, if I did, bye bye. I started talking about Spartan Grown and his uncle who had pancreatic cancer, and he has white papers on help shrinking tumors in his pancreas. And he actually, when his uncle passed, it was not pancreas related. So shout out to that. But I used it as an example, and Spartan as an RSO aficionado, FICO aficionado. If we're actually going to be accurate on our descriptions, FICO, because he does the full extract, full plant extract. And that by most standards is a gram a day of medicine in order to have a chance of fighting against cancer. And he uses a lot of different cannabis strains. People ask me today, what cannabis strains does he use? He uses everyone he can get his hands on, and does it and scatter shoots it. And he's got a closed loop system too. And he's willing to help people, but just me in mentioning it, I could gather up more cancer patients than I could shake a stick at this point, literally. So to that end, I think my next thing is going to be, I know how to make FICO, I really do. I think I'm going to have to start making my own. I don't have a closed loop system, but you know, I can't depend on somebody who's working a full-time job and has a full-time life to help all of the patients that I could bring him. And there's not enough other caregivers, which is the next stage of what I want to talk about. There's not enough other caregivers that will process to that point for all of the patients that need help. There just isn't. And we have to step it up it's easy for me to say being retired. I know it's not so easy for people who don't do a big outdoor grow like me, but at this point, there's some people I really care about that are pretty sick, and I want to get to helping them. And, you know, I don't think there's probably a person out here who isn't touched by illness that cannabis can help, especially in the fecal form.
Yeah, it's nice when you see the medicine making it to where it needs to go.
Exactly.
I was talking to some people the other week, and I don't know why. I think I was phoned by one of the guys because he was referring me as like a reference to either make or figure out where to get RSO or something like that. And the funny part was, it was because he was with some people that were stating they knew all about it. And then when I talked to them, I was saying, talk to these people, they'll know. And it was the people that were mentioning me to, and it came full circle. They're like, so it's pretty funny, you know. He was phoning me to get information on it because people that were saying they could do it, and then I told them to find the people that were telling him they could do it. So he kind of looked like an idiot, but he's like, "Oh shit!" My aficionado said, "You guys are the guys," so I guess you're the guys.
And then there's a lot of people I have long wanted. I know I've been terrible with this podcast and promoting it and getting it out there, but I think that should be my goal in my late years here, that is to bring as many people into our community that should be in our community as I can. And just, they don't even have to be full-bodied people like some of us are. We spend a lot of time in Discord, and we go to each other's podcasts and stuff. I would like to organize our podcasting a little bit. I would like to get have a membership drive. There's people out there that could use this, don't know a lot of this community support exists, might want to be part of the community, but just doesn't know how to go about getting into the community. And I really would like to use this platform to do that. And hopefully I'll get my shit together sooner rather than later. But it starts tomorrow with going out to this hash bash, and it's an activism day, and I'm looking forward to it. I believe in activism. So, yeah.
I'm thinking, like, I don't know, like, for me to go to the city here, Toronto, 2 hours one way. So that's a drive, but like, in all reality,
it's going to take me some time to get there. I'm nearly to Detroit when I hit Ann Arbor. It's not just a straight shot down 96 pretty much, and then I got to go south for just
like 6 hours,
an hour or so. Yeah, that's a lot of time. It really is. Major cities, Detroit's 3 hours from me. Chicago's 3 hours from me.
I know.
I'm willing to go 3 hours to go to a concert. So I have no problem going 3 hours to go to activism. But true activism, which happens in the middle of the state in Lansing, Michigan, I've done a few times too. And we have a yearly gathering where we talk about what we need to do with our laws, what we are doing with our laws. Um, it's just a wonderful rally to go to yearly. We have keynote speakers informationally, but again, not that high of attendance is what we probably should and could have, because it's really hard getting the word out to people and giving them a reason to really come out. It's legal, they'll say it's legal. Why are you still doing this? Because even though it's legal, we were talking earlier about consumption lounges. Tara, was the cannabis consumption lounge up by you there, where you used to work up north?
Mhm.
Was that one of the ones through the initiative of the medical marijuana program? Can you say? Or are you here? I hope you are. Um, but yeah, it's just, if you don't stay on it, they will tear you up. Well, they'll tear us up because we got a strong law in, and they'd sure like it not to be so strong.
Yeah, if they know
And
there's hundreds and even thousands of you running around to events being peaceful and speaking knowledge every
yeah,
week, they're not going to come out and
speaking to
try to challenge
events.
you.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, yeah, these people are pretty stout on their stance there. So like, if we try to do anything, they're going to come at us. Like, so they're, but if you lay back and just let them do their thing, politicians will do their thing, man. So, like
Well, I
saying
am in a unique.
the steps of
This is
people.
what I do. This is what I do with. I have gone to the Lansing and talked to the legislators. They organize through Weedsters, and it's a wonderful organization. If you're in Michigan and you haven't joined Weedsters, it's really cheap to join. It's like $5 or some shit. If you aren't a patient or a caregiver, patient license is 2 years for $90. You can be also a caregiver. There's a small fee for caregiving. It's not as big as that $45 a year to be a patient, though. But you can be a patient and a caregiver in Michigan. So I encourage everybody to, yeah, Jamie Lowell. He used to do. He might still do Jazz Cabbage. I have not seen it on Facebook in a long time. Um, uh, there's a lot of people that there are some people that are involved in not so much a hash bash, but the hash bash cup that aren't favorite people of mine, but that should not stop anybody else from coming out and having fun. It's a little bit of a money maker, and the purists that are there for the actual hash bash might find it a little distasteful. But I will say this: I do manage to get free tickets in, because the tickets are pretty pricey if you don't get them free. And the parking there is outrageous because it's at a hotel that clearly, if you get a ticket to the hotel and go to the cup from there, I believe it was Thunder Dan who said he'd love to go and stay in a smoky ass hotel. Last year, the police or the fire trucks had to come because we had so much smoke, the alarms went off. And and they let him go for a long time. Somebody didn't get bought off who should have gotten bought off, I believe is what happened. That was the theory, but they were going a long time. Sent my ass home, I'll say that. After about 20 minutes of it, I said I can't do this anymore. And so I just got my ass up and I left, but I'd had a good long time. But mine and your friend Frigroli always has a table there, and I love Frigroli's concentrates. There is just nothing like
Yeah.
his lime skunk. That being said, I could skip all of that and do a direct sales and service with Frigroli. I don't need to go to that. And there's other events that Frigroli will be going to now that the season is kicked off in the future. I'm a little broke this month anyway, so I wouldn't have been able to get the full amount that I wanted to, which is the other thing. I do try to support my friends as much as I can. Unfortunately, I am a broke ass bitch right now, so I have been going to the dispensaries and buying my concentrates because I don't make my own concentrates. But they're not too bad. I get a lot of True North, and that comes out of the Michigan Canna Company, where Russ used to work and where our friend Bake Pond still works. And I've seen nothing but good stuff come out of there. Uh, who they sell to is none of my business at this point. I'm just trying to get through. Uh, Never mind. You don't want to know about all that. Anyhow, I go into, yeah, I'm a little high, not on the chocolates yet, even. Um, but I go into those places, and I'm kind of, because of my advanced stage, I'm kind of an anomaly as it is. And when we start talking about concentrates, and I grow my own cannabis, I don't need any of their flour, blah, 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 blah. The natural segue is, yeah, we have podcasts. Check this out, check that out. I'm to the point right now that I just want to make up some cards of different, not even just my own, just different people's podcasts, and say, check this out if you want to know what's really going on out there. Check that out. You'd really be interested in this. And I think we could have, for lack of a better term, a pretty nice little membership drive. So that's kind of my goal for this coming year, this coming season, is to try to get more people interested in working here and see how it goes. And of course, grow some kick-ass pot, because I want to take first place at the next sun-grown competition.
That would be awesome to see that.
I get better every year. I go a little higher every year. And since
Yeah.
past year was third in Michigan bred seeds, hopefully it'll be first in Michigan bred seeds.
That what is it? Third place in Michigan bred seeds?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, Michigan breeder seeds.
Nice.
That was the apple snacks from AB Seeds.
You
This
get a
year,
trophy.
and I will be getting it tomorrow. In fact, I got a plaque. It's a really nice plaque. I don't even know if I should admit this. I stayed at that thing all day when we had the contest, and I was pretty freaking high, and I started getting a pretty good headache. And a couple of us others, including Patrick from AB Seeds, whose stuff I put in the contest, we all kind of dipped out just before they gave the presentation. I didn't think I really wanted to tell you the absolute truth, which why I didn't think about it. I didn't even think about winning. I didn't question it. And come to that, I'm in Meyer, and I get Kazoo Kush, who was also there. Shout out to Kazoo Kush. I get a text message from Kazoo Kush going, "You shouldn't have left. You won." I'm going, "What?" "Yeah, you won third place. Congratulations." I'm like, "Oh shit."
That's pretty awesome though. Like, I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was kind of embarrassed to have stayed there all of that time and then just go, "Yeah, she took third. Where is she? Blue Kiss? Blue Kiss? Are you in the house? I know you were."
Right before you called my name.
Yeah, I had to go. I got to go, man. So
that's pretty cool.
Good times there. The other, this year I am not going to the DGC for varied reasons. And that was one of my biggest events. One of the reasons is, of course, and usually foremost for anybody who travels as much as me, money. It's not a cheap event to go to, because just the ticket to get on the airplane is $350. Then you got hotel, car rental. Ticket to the event this year, they're having a 3-day event. They have added a concentrate competition, but they pieced out the price of the tickets. And last year, I believe I paid as a DGC member $160 for the tickets for 2 days event. And I'm not going to complain about that, because I went to every freaking private party that Scotty Reel had. I was invited to them all. I went to them all. But I was one of just a few people that got to do that. If I had paid for that, I got the swag bag I got. And in this case, it really bit me in the ass, because I did not arrive in time. I was supposed to arrive on Thursday for the party on Friday. That was the first day. The VIP party was Friday, and then the event on Saturday. I got there after it was all said and done, about an hour before the VIP party was to end, because I had horrible, they canceled my flight out and they had to reschedule me. I ended up in Newark, New Jersey. Somebody shoot me in the head for hours. It was that or fly out on Friday and be later than what I was going to do with flying to Newark. But I only got an hour out of that. And then the next day, of course, it was okay. I had the whole day, but that was a pretty pricey ticket for one party in 1 hour. But like I said, I did go to all the private parties, but that was me that got to do that. That's not everybody gets to do that. So in my mind, that was my third year I was there, and I made a lot of great friends. And I am actually going to go back to Colorado, but not until September. And I will be foregoing the DGC this year. So it saddens me, but yeah, I'm saving a big chunk of money doing that. I'll be able to do more things.
What's this April 19th Third Eye Craft Affair thing Tara mentioned?
The April 19th. That is next weekend?
Yeah, 2 weekends from now.
Yeah, this weekend, and then, that is in Lansing, Michigan, which is just 100 miles up the road. Takes me about an hour and a half to get there. They have a little booth event and you can go and shop and
do your stuff.
Buy things. Remember I was talking about our friend Frigoli?
Yes.
He'll probably be there.
Thanks.
If he doesn't sell out all his product tomorrow, which I got to tell you, my sad skunk story. I bought some lime skunk from him 2 years ago, and it was a 2-gram jar too. And I put it in my backpack, and then I believe it was my camera. I might have dropped on top of it and broke the jar. And I might have saved, when it was all said and done, by the time I realized what I had done, I might have saved not quite half of a 2-gram jar, and the rest just had too much crap going on with it, and it was smeared on the inside of my backpack, and it was a horrible thing. But the whole room smelled like that lime skunk, and I got that on the first night, which was the Friday night that we were there, and then I went on Saturday, and he was already out of the lime skunk, and he did replace it free of charge. I thank you very much for Growley, even though it wasn't his fault that I broke it. I believe I got Cobra milk from him that time. Good concentrate.
The last year, it's not so much.
Yeah, it's a good concentrate. I would have preferred the lime skunk any day of the week. He has got some very classic and very wonderful strains that he concentrates, and he does it for other people too. At this last event that we were at, we were smoking, or I should say vaping on concentrates from Chuck D's Nuts, and he'll be at the Third Eye Craft Affair. If you're looking for some good concentrates, he's got some pretty good damn concentrates.
Okay, yeah, it's about 7 hours from me.
Yeah, I know. That's just terrible. But I live in Michigan, and so I do as many of the Michigan things as I can do. Out of my area, of course, we've got the Garden Club, Booth Crew Meetup, whatever you want to call us. And this is 4th annual.
That's quite the camp, man. Like, wow, I can't wait. Like, as soon as we get the place locked in, I'm booking it and all that jazz.
Yeah, since we're talking about it, this year we are, the last 3 years we were in a very lovely location in Illinois. However, as lovely and bucolic as it was a geographical oddity, and it was at least 6 hours from everybody, except for the people in St. Louis. Those were the only people that it made out. But everybody else, it was a grueling long. How long did it take you, G-Bay? How many days?
It was 13 hours from Doc's place, and it took me a day to get to Doc. Like, I left my house in Ontario and drove, I think it was 8 and a bit to get to Doc's place.
Well, this year we're still going to be a little to the south because we're going to be in southeastern Ohio. Haven't got the place booked yet, But that tentatively we'll be doing that, and I have already decided Tara's going, and me and Tara are
Dragon.
going to. Yeah, me and Tara are going to get one of the single cabins. I think tentatively, that's got the queen size bed. And oh, by the way, Hoobie Girl and Doobie says he'd be happy to be the rose between two thorns, if you know what I mean.
He would too, that little devil.
Yeah, that little stinker. That's okay. I love Hoobie. Hoobie's one of my dudes.
Stuff.
So
I'll do what I did last time. Just throw my little road trip tent out.
yep.
You know?
And as we were talking about our sleeping situations and what we're going to do and the dynamicness of it, I still have it in my darn trunk. I carry it around wherever I go. Never know where I'll need a nap. But I have my cot and my 4-inch memory foam mattress in the trunk, so got that. So yeah, so we're gonna make it happen, and it's gonna be a good time.
Nice.
Oh, G-Bay will be taking a road trip for sure.
No, yeah.
Sure.
We should.
He's already talking about maybe, even though I'm not going to that DGC, the weekend after DGC is our Gems and Genetics one. So he was talking about maybe taking a big road trip for that. We'll see. We'll see how he's doing. By that time, it might be a whole different situation.
That second weekend of June, right?
Second weekend in June, correct. And
Yep,
that is camping. Yep. Anybody wants to come out for a practice garden club meetup? That's where I am going to be that weekend. And if it's cold weather, I will be in this house. And anybody that has traveled a far distance and doesn't want to sleep in bitter cold may come back and crash in my house too.
The good thing about June is like, yeah, it might rain, but
2 years ago in June, it was warm and balmy and beautiful and wonderful. And then this last year, it was
that's the one where Stoney's
rainy.
tent got flooded. Where was that when Stoney's tent? I remember Stoney had a tent that got flooded one time.
Oh no, that was Luzerne. That was Luzerne up north.
Clio or something like that.
Look at that. Dan's coming. You coming, Dan? Bring your tent. Bring your cot. I only have the
slumber party.
Cots, actually. That's right. Yep, we make it happen. I'm not going to let my friends freeze. Hopefully, it'll be warm enough we can all just still stay out there.
Oh man, it was so fun hanging with you guys and partying. It's good for the soul, man.
It is. That is one of the things I like about going to my events is I get to see old friends and I make new ones too. It's crazy that the person whose home I'm going to in September out in Colorado Springs, I met her the first year at the DGC, her and her husband and another woman, and we're still friends today. Every day she puts up a meme or some stuff, something and directs it directly at me, and I do it right back at her, and little chit chats back and forth. And yeah, I really miss seeing her. Yep. In fact, I reminded her just today about the last time I was there because she did me a real solid, and I'll always be appreciative of Miss Terry, always. So cheers, Terry. On that note, I'm going to load up a bowl. Where did they just here's a nice clean one. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Also at the Sun-Grown events, I really like their formats. That's the one that we had this year in December. It gives everybody time to get their crop in from the outdoor grow and get it completely cured. Oh, shoot, I lost my train. It pulled right out. Oh, it came back. Woo, woo. Last year, they have a category for a certain flavor, and last year was cherry, which nothing to me. I did not have a cherry paloma growing last year, but yeah. And I don't think the cherry paloma cut that I have is all that cherry. Tell you the absolute truth, and it's not one of my favorite flavor profiles anyway, but this year, the competition is going to put blueberry up for a flavor to shoot for. And to that end, I am going to pot me some blueberry by Golden Goat back across from our friends at the Good Weed Company.
I was just about to say the blueberry cut I had from them was delicious. So that's the same genetic as what the mother is to that.
Excellent. I am going to pot me at least a half a dozen seeds, maybe a few more since they are regular seeds, and call out the boys, of course. And I've also got the garlic cookies by Golden Goat back cross from the Good Weed Company as well that I'm going to put in my garden. See what becomes of that. That's going to be my garlic selection for this summer. That besides that, and the Vortex and the Spartan Puke, I'm going to be putting that in as well. And according to Miss Terry, she's got me a Gorilla Goat or a Gorilla Glue anytime I'm ready to get it. So thank you, Miss Terry. I do so appreciate you. I really freaking do. You don't even know.
I love how both our gardens are like community seeds.
Well, I am going to run some that are the professionals as well. I love the Loving in Her Eyes, and I've been smoking Kaleidoscope Eyes hard in the last 2 weeks, and I do mean hard. And that stuff is so nice. Tara smoked it as well, and she went, "Woo, what am I smoking?" Yep.
I've heard nothing but spectacular reviews from Loving in Her Eyes.
I didn't grow them last year, but also I've got some watermelon slush that I am going to grow again this year from her. I really enjoyed it. That's Watermelon Skittles by Spanish Moon. And the Kaleidoscope Eyes is Winterberry by Cajun Moon. Huh?
Have you grown Fluffy's Bam at all that everyone's been growing?
No, and I'm glad you mentioned it because that is also going in the garden as well as the Spanish Moon.
I was going to say, try some of that. It's been pretty heavy hitting with everybody. Everyone's seemed to like it.
Yep, I am putting some Fluff's genetics in the garden this year. Let's see, I think I got it here. Spanish Moon by Black Forest. Sideways Betty by Black Forest. I believe, isn't that Bambalam?
Yes.
Oh, Black Betty, Bambalam. Oh, Black Betty. Yeah.
I like how he did the play on the.
Yeah, I do too. Well, I was in the freaking chat, and he's going, "I got cross back Black Forest and whatever the Spanish Moon and Black Forest. I don't know what to call it." And he said they got the Black Betty, yeah, whatever it was. It was Sideways Betty by Black Forest, and he said he couldn't call it Black Betty because somebody else had the name and it's or some shit. And I said, well, then Bambalam. And then he looked at it, he goes, "Oh yeah, Bambalam." Then he started thinking about it, and then the next thing I knew, it was Bambalam. I won't take credit because anybody would have come up with that eventually. I mean, come on, I can't use Black Betty. Well, Bambalam.
The one I came up with, which I might use again if I ever get the cross happening again. There was a blueberry skunk cross, and I called it Peppy Le Blue instead of Peppy Le.
That is a good name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the blue in it. I like any cross that's got the name blue in it.
Yeah.
Cheers, by the way.
Well, that'd be even a good cross for you if you ever make a skunk thing.
Yeah. Well, the only cross that I personally had that has a blue name or any blue kiss name in it. Last year, as everybody's heard before, I've got this plant that grew outside of my front door here, and it was fantastic. Even though I was so freaking mean to it, I believe it was probably a moonbow seed, but since I don't know what it was, I called it the Kiss Off because it pretty much got the kiss off from me, and it still performed. And of those little performers, I got in this hot little holder thing that I alluded to earlier for seeds. Um, I've always maintained that I thought that maybe I wasn't more herming than getting pollinated, but last year's test proved that I was getting pollinated, not hermed. However, that one might actually be hermed because, hi Jay, that might actually be a herm because it was right outside this door, and there's light coming through here all over the places until your deck gets lit up. The door's open, the door's closed. That thing got so much bleed through light. I can't believe it didn't hurt. I can't believe it didn't. And I'm hoping it actually did, because if it did, I'm not going to run it like that. So the next one shouldn't hurt. And I didn't get very many seeds, but it wasn't a very huge plant either. But I'll tell you what, that was one of my first plants. I smoked it from start to finish just because it was that good. Very, very moon bowie tasting. So we'll see what I get with my 4 little mystery seeds. And if they turn out to be something good, I don't know that I'll call them Kiss Off. I might call them something Kiss, though. But yeah, that's my breeding project. And even as they grow, and if they're females, I'll just clone them and
I'll be doing mine all
have them on hand.
I'll be pretty small. I won't be having the big old trees like I usually do.
Well, just in general, I also have in my collection of seeds. Like I say, my vision is bigger than my probably ability. But this little container, it's got just a little shitload of seeds in it. Came out of all of my good weed that I grew last year. So think of all the good weed I grew last year, and it I don't know, got pollinated by something. And I just saved the seeds. But then as I started going, I went, hey, I want to know what ones were in this one. And I know there's some of those in here too, because I had more than 4 seeds on that. But 4 for sure came off a Kiss Off. And then these came out of my kaleidoscope eyes. I don't know what they are.
Oh, 1 or 2, that's all.
But I'm also going to run regular kaleidoscope eyes so I can compare them side by side and see what huge differences I've got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a couple. No, just one. I had one male in a pot outdoors pre-flowering. Like, not that plant itself, but pre-flowering season for the actual in-ground girls. So this little male in a pot it actually came from indoors and was already pollinating, releasing, doing its thing. So when I let it out early, the only thing it was able to pollinate was those little tiny, like in the crotch pistils. So I got seeds
in the crotch pistils. Yeah, right where the connectors are. Yeah,
the little I had done it
first
once
identifiers.
Indoors. Yeah, I did it once indoors and was like, wow, this is a neat way to make some seeds of a genetic without messing up your flowers, because you can pollinate those little crotch flower indicate like pre-flowers, get some seeds, and then flip into flower after everything's cleaned up. Away you
Call them the crotch rocket.
Yeah. So it worked out. So I did get some of that from the outdoor garden.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice that way. So I was able to harvest seeds, and then like the flowering was happening, but there's no pollen anywhere. So.
Yeah.
I haven't found any seeds in any of the outdoor yet.
No, I don't have a lot for as much as I've been smoking and going through. And I still have quite a bit left. I thought I wouldn't have nearly as much as I do right now by now. But like I say, I'm going to start experimenting with the making tincture and then taking it down and all that fine stuff. Next time I go heading south to a state that sells the good alcohol, pick me up a fuck ton of it.
Fuck, it ain't cheap up here, man. I got this bottle over here. It's 4 liters. It was $200. $50 a liter, I mean.
That's why the closed loop system is so much better than just open cook off, because you just all that alcohol that you paid that big money for and drove a long way for.
Yeah, like
and I can use the. Go ahead, honey.
I was just gonna say, hypothetically, yeah, if you had a market for it, it's not that bad, if you get a return. But closed loop's the way to go for sure, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, like we were saying before. Oh, and I'm not completely done about what I'm going to be running out there. I am running some more genetics. This is for the medicine of it, and I did run them 2 years ago, and that run ended up being a clusterfuck because of my out. I won't even mention why. But anyway, I'm going to do some Green Room by Lemon Dosey. Is that it? Lemon Dosido by Green Room F2, which is a CBD, which I got from Red Setter
Nice.
Farms. Yeah, he's very generous with those crosses, and I want to see if I can pull some good medicine out of there because, yeah, I don't know anybody who couldn't use some good medicine. And finally, talking about all those events we go to, including the Gems and Genetic events. Um, One of my favorite vendors, and they were at the last event I was at, not this one a week ago, but the previous one to that, and that's Candyman Seeds. Now I'll give a shout out to Candyman Seeds. Not only is he a pretty good breeder, but he makes the best freaking chocolate, fudge, or not chocolate, the fudge. Oh my God.
Medicated?
Yeah. No. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't get medicated, but yeah, it is just good freaking fudge. Um, I don't know what else to say about it. I'm just that kind of a girl. Like I in fact bought a damn cookie at this last event that wasn't, and that's what the woman's shtick was. These are not medicated. Want to buy a cookie? And they were deluxe gourmet cookies, and yeah, I want to buy a cookie. Damn tootin', I want to buy a cookie.
I want about two.
Yeah, no, I couldn't afford two of them. They were kind of pricey, but still, I don't mind supporting people that had to buy the booth to be there, and she's got to cover cost. That's how that works, and make a little sum on top of it. So that's why I don't mind spending a little bit more at those things when I can. And I encourage everybody to go and do those. But on this particular cross of Candyman Seeds, it's peanut butter broth by Jelly Broth, and he calls it PBB Jelly Time. And I grew peanut butter broth one year. I had a good cut of it, and I was growing it very nicely when I was lit upon by thieves, and they killed my entire grow, and peanut butter broth was one of my completely lost. Way early before it was done flowering, by the way. One of the biggest heartbreaks was the thieves not only took all of my weed, but it took a month before it was done. Stupid kids. See, now these are the kind of people who need education.
I feel you, and I'll admit this. I maybe shouldn't, but like I was like 15-year-old.
You were that kid. Were you that punk?
I only did it once.
These kids are a little older than 15, and they've also, by my understanding, are into a lot of other bullshit. But that's a live and learn.
It's not the mastermind, but I was a participant.
Yeah, I'm going to never be in that situation again. I've taken security procedures to make sure that it's going to be really hard to rip me off.
My ex and her friend one time were tying Christmas bells to the plants.
That's not. Yeah, anymore. I got cameras. I just threw the cameras, and away we go.
Very funny. It's like you couldn't move the plants without them making a bunch of racket. Or when the wind blew, backyard.
I wish I could leave my black boy out there during harvest season. Unfortunately, it's not even that he would escape. He'd stay in there, but he'd be lifting his leg on freaking every single one of those swimming pools. And they'd be permeated with piss.
Mm-hmm.
So
these are my plants.
Yeah. Love you, boo, but don't get you pissing on my stuff. And I got this redhead next to me that's not going to make it to see the season. So
I got a
You've
great
been a
spot
good girl
right
too.
there, right on my deck for putting a tent. I did the 1 year I had a tent out there. I just ran a cord with a heater and then power. Like had my 40-something inch screen TV out there. Playing security guard. I was 8 feet from the plants, so that's pretty good with a couple dogs with me. That's pretty good security.
Yeah, yeah. I feel very safe in my house. The red dog is. She doesn't have to be very fast. She's just got to be a presence. But he makes up for what she doesn't do. He's just, yeah. There's nobody going to come in here and do shit to me. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Now they're a little bit of fuss, anyways.
Yeah.
Run away, I think.
Well, if you can make it up my dark, dark driveway into my dark, dark house and get past my dark, dark dog, I got a dark, dark blackjack waiting for you.
Yep. Ting.
I think that blackjack to the floor how to take care of any problem.
Monkey paw or whatever they're called.
I don't know what they're called. It was government issue for people to abuse the citizens. It just oh, here she is.
There you go.
Here it is. It used to have a nice little leather handle that ran in here. You could just slip your hand in here, but my boxer chewed it off. Silly boy.
Okay, yeah, it's got a little lead.
It's got lead in it. It's got two pieces of a split piece of lead. There's a small piece, and then there's like a spoon-shaped piece, but flat, and so it's got a little bit of little bit of give to it, a little bit of play. So when you thump something, you can actually reverberate on it. And I think a small child could probably kill somebody with this if they hit him on the side. Yeah, easily. It just, you don't have to put anything into it. It just whack. But true, I know what you're saying out there in the audience, chat. But they might have guns, but it'll still be dark in here, and I'm not gonna wait for somebody to come up to me and shoot me. I'm gonna be laying in wait, allegedly.
No, why?
Yeah.
But
also, I wanted to mention, since I haven't told you everything, I kind of wanted to space it out because I don't want anybody counting how many seeds that I mentioned. Did I mention that you can have up to 72 plants if you've got 5 patients in Michigan and you're a patient too? The more you know.
We have to be signed on, like here in Ontario, we have to have, like, say me and you are both licensed growers, and you want me to grow for you. We have to do some little bit of paperwork. And
so that I don't continue to grow, even so it's not a duplicate growing situation.
Basically, all it changes is the address of your grow.
I'm sorry, I just read a message from Dan. I'd put it up across the banner, but I really don't want to.
Spider monkey on Mountain Dew.
Thank you, Dan. Anyway. Also from Katie Man Seeds, who's got the peanut butter jelly time. At this last event I was at, what one was it? Was it the actual contest I was in? Yeah, I think it was. I got some complimentary seeds for being in it called "It's Rick James, Bitch."
Some of the names you come up with, that's awesome.
So yeah, there are some really good ones out there, but that's long for a name. But can you imagine growing a really fucking good plant called it's Sunshine Latte Volunteer Mom by 36 Double D. Then it says 36 different daddies volunteer project. Oh boy. It's Rick James, bitch. You're gonna be my volunteer, huh?
Yeah.
And I also have another set of seeds from about the same thing where things just
hold on one second. Let's take a moment to appreciate that package. It's so kind of not offensive, but like just the 36 Double D and the Rick James bitch all within like just the name of
Just as I'm spitting out names. This one is called 99 Fucks, and it's Alaskan Thunderfuck by Sour Grapes by Floji by Heirloom Cinderella 99 inbred a line. And that I got from the 2024 Sunburn competition for sure. 6 regular seeds. So yeah, I would get some Thunderfuck into my grow too. So yeah, I've got some known and unknowns and going in this year. Sweet and so glow. Yeah. That's the 99Ds bringing that. I can't do that. Double D.
Drips.
I'd have to bring on our friend Kitty to show what a double D more or less was. She's more, I'm less.
Yeah,
Kitty.
I hate to admit that I know some of this because I get stuck with the Kitty and Blue Kiss morning show.
Oh yeah. You see what the problem with G-Bay is he is a wonderful listener.
Oh yeah.
He will sit for an hour and listen to Kitty and I. And even today, Thunder Dan got in there talking and didn't even realize that G-Bay was in there.
I'm a good therapist. If anyone needs to just talk.
But to his credit, Dan did not say anything in front of G-Bay or
Then you should.
Yeah. He'll say the same thing behind G-Bay's back, even though it wasn't behind G-Bay's back that he says to his face.
We're all friends.
G-Bay will attest to. Because he got to the point, he goes, "Oh, are you here, G-Bay? We were just talking about you."
Well, I'm the silent man in the corners, creeping.
G-Bay got to watch me show my new bra to people. Well,
I wasn't watching any of that.
Oh, good, thank you. Yeah, but he got to hear the talk about how it got picked out and bought.
It's like reading a book. If I want any of that, I gotta think. Like, I gotta make that shit up.
Yeah. It's kind of like the more you know.
I'll make y'all burlesque and stuff. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about that when I said it there, Dan. Yeah, I know.
I'm not sure they got this from. I might have bought some 2020 Mendo seeds, but it contains 2 feminized photoperiod seeds called Hot Mess. And I've had it long enough to not know where I got it from, so I think I'm going to throw that in some soil and see what comes out of my hot
That's
mess.
the best when you can't even rack the brain to where it came from. You're like,
Yeah. Oh, well, it's clearly marked 2020.
The worst is when you get a baggie of seeds with no name. Like this doesn't happen so much anymore. The game's evolved. We've grown up. But back in the day, you used to just get a sandwich baggie or an envelope or something.
I've got one thing of seeds. I'm not completely sure what they are. There's still writing on it, but it's broken up writing. I think I'm going to have to get a magnifying glass. If anybody recognizes this tube, because it's a pretty different size kind of tube,
That's
I
funny.
might have gotten it. Did you bring home any seeds that look like that? Or you didn't bring home any seeds and shit from boot camp, did you?
I did, though.
Did you?
Somehow they got into the airbox on my bike. I don't know.
I don't know.
They were, what were they?
It says
Kush or something? They're high and tights.
I don't know what these are, but I might just throw them in the ground just to see. Just like I got something else, I'm going to throw in the ground.
None of my seeds would ever have made it to you. I don't think I've sent you anything before. Because I have those type of round.
No. Yeah.
Black
and then I've got some that I can clearly read. That's Jelly Bean by Chilumbian. Jelly Bean by Chilumbian. Probably got those from Eagle. Or I might have gotten them, no, probably from Eagle, because any seeds I get from Smiley Gardens, he has it nicely boxed. But I think I might have gotten this at the last Gems and Genetics. I got Mr. Nice, by NL5 crossed by Hayes. Okay, I'm not sure exactly how this goes. Mr. Nice, NL5 crossed by Hayes, and then it's by Angel Breath on the other side. I don't know what the hell I'm even going to get with this. NL5, I know what that is. Mr. Nice, I know what that is. Angel Breath I've never had that I know of.
You know what I brought back from booth camp was Cryptics F2 and OG Skunk Haze times Cryptics from Pine Tight. So any of the Canadian crew, get at me. I got a bunch of that if you want any.
Yeah, Supreme says he popped some Eagle beans just the other day. Yeah, people go through a lot of work to make seeds. I have no problem putting them in the ground and seeing what I can do with them. And I'm not one that's real concerned about how many. Well, it's nice to have an idea if it's going to be 64 or 70 or 77. If it's more than 77, it's 77. It's good to know that going in, no doubt. But I don't have to have that. I can just look at the damn plant grow and figure out what it's doing as I watch it grow. And that's how I did it my very first year. I did not know what I was growing. And one of them, my brother, when he picked up the plant, he was supposed to remember the name of it. And then we got these 4 janky. We each got 4 plants, and one of his turned out to be actually an auto. I'm glad he got it and not me. I would have been bummed. But one of them I grew. I didn't know the name of it. He was supposed to remember. He couldn't remember. One was a Bubba Kush cross, and that was Bubba's Girl. Don't know what it was crossed with, but that was a purple plant. I believe it's purple. It was purple all the way through and through. And that was the best plant I grew that year. But I went by what the actual bud looked like. I didn't go by, and then I had my loop out all the time. I knew what I was looking for. The other named variety I had was called Ortega. And if you look up Ortega, it doesn't have that good of a description on it. It's an older plant that somebody made. And my Ortega, when I up-potted it, I burnt the fuck out of the roots. And I believe in doing that, I delayed it a good week or so before it started flowering. And it's still finished, but it just didn't, yeah. And it looked okay, but yeah, it took so long. I'm going, why isn't this thing fucking flowering? Why isn't it flowering? It just wouldn't flower. Finally it did, and that's all I can figure is that I just had retarded it so far, it just couldn't, it was trying to catch its ass up. I don't know. I might be talking bullshit right now.
Some plants are weird like that.
Oh, yeah, that one for sure was. That one for sure was. But it was nice. It grew really well. I liked the way it looked. And that's when I first, I'm trying to figure out, okay, am I supposed to pinch these? Am I supposed to let them grow? Am I supposed to let the apical meristem go? What am I supposed to do with these? That was the only thing that really got me. How much I didn't really want to clean up the bottom, so I liked the way my plant looked, not realizing I was starving my flowers by growing all the extra bullshit at the bottom. So, I kind of realized that I couldn't bring myself to take that shit away. I don't have a problem like that anymore. Not at all.
We had a real nice one in the yard the other year. It was mac and cheese or something. I forget what it was.
Mac and cheese sounds good.
Banana mac. And yeah, it was the darkest thing, but yeah, it flowered weird. It was late and didn't really finish. And
One
of those
Banana
plants.
mac, you say? Oh shit! I got me some Westport seeds here.
Nice. I got Westport Posse, I think.
That's what I got too.
Nice. Nice. We'll have to pop them off at the same time one time.
Yeah, it's going to have to be summer season. You got room in your garden this year?
No, I don't know what's happening this year. I'm not putting any faith in
Anything? Okay, I got you. I get you exactly.
I'm on float mode.
What did you say that you had? The banana what?
Banana Mac. Excuse me, sorry. You want to
No, this isn't Banana Mac. Is it a name genetic? Is it a name geneticist out there, or is it something somebody we know did?
I want to say it came from Caribou. I don't know if he did it or
Somebody else did it.
yeah.
I
Sometimes
got some from a place called Origin Genetics. I don't know where I got it exactly. I bought it though. I know I did buy it, and it's banana lemon mac.
Ooh, banana lemon Mac.
And I popped it, and I had grown just regular Mac 1 right next to it. Right next to it.
It's funny because Mac 1 is
I took this fucker out. Only I'm gonna send these to you if you want them. Only grow this bitch indoors. I got powdery mildew, so
I'm
bad on it.
I got 10,000 seeds.
Yeah. Anybody want these bitches? You let me know. I'll let you have them for free. I'm not going to try them outside again. I had powdery mildew so bad, and it wouldn't have been so bad, but it wasn't that rainy a season to have gotten the powdery mildew. And my regular Mac 1 wasn't so bad for the powdery mildew. This one I had to kill ahead of time. I didn't even take it in. I didn't want anything to do with it. And I'm probably wearing this dude's shirt tomorrow. And these are the only seeds I got from him, and they're Mesa Mints. But I'm not going to run them this year. I've had them for a while. I feel bad. Probably wear that shirt tomorrow, though. It's one of my very favorite shirts. Or I got a new Growing Thumbs white T-shirt. I have one black one now and one white one, and that's the extent of my whole merch. Clearly, I don't sell merch, but I am not trying to brand up, and you know how that works. So it is going to quarter to 11 already. I am so shocked and amazed that this has gone so smooth. And yeah, we kind of knocked it out of the park, even though I was jumping around like a mofo with my subject matter. So I will say this going forward. I try to recruit people that seem interested. If you talk about your growing and people seem interested, especially if you're in a state that does the medical, recruit and grow. And hey, blue haze.
Yeah, talk to your local hot tub people.
Talk to your local hot tub people. Yeah, it's hard for me to get out there, and I always talk about being authentic, and sometimes I am. It's not that I'm unauthentic, but sometimes I have to protect my authenticity so people don't try to get me in trouble or make judgments on me just for living the life that I live. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with the way I live my life.
It's hard to know who to open up in front of.
Well, here's a good example, and I'm going to next time I make butter, I'm going to make this woman edibles. I've got one of my yoga neighbors. She just lives right over here, I guess, by me, which I didn't know. She just asked me a couple nonchalant questions where I lived and stuff, and I told her. And I don't know if she Google mapped me and saw that I had to grow or what, but she was talking to me, or maybe I'm just a little high and don't remember talking to her about my grow. But she talked about having an outdoor grow, but they can't do it anymore because there was too much interest from the neighborhood. And I said, yeah, I got completely ripped off the one year, and we were talking about that. But this woman has a cancer. She's in cancer treatment right now. and I would like to at least get her some edibles and possibly talk to her about tinctures and Pico. But again, like I say, I've got more people than I've got medicine for them, and I feel freaking bad about that. But look, I'm going to give it helping people help themselves. Oh, this is the one that I was thinking about for you. And I've just not had success with the seeds themselves. And that's from Ethos, and it's Mac and Jack.
Come here, dog.
They've got a surprising amount of Ethos seeds, and I've lost the loving feeling for Ethos. And I think we all know why if you own a dog. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, not sorry. There's a reason I don't eat at what's the chicken place that is anti-gay people?
Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A. Don't eat there. I don't eat there. I did eat there one time when I was in South Carolina. My son-in-law says, "Well, we're all going to Chick-fil-A, so you're just gonna have to suffer through, Mom." So I went to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, can't get your fucking hate burger on.
Yeah, I did. I don't know what I had. I think I had.
Damn it, I liked it. Didn't want to like it.
I had a hate burger. I didn't have their signature chicken.
Yeah.
I had to rest on my laurels.
Yeah, I haven't really backed myself politically on anything.
Although I will say, one thing about going to South Carolina, I did discover the lively life of the pancake houses and the what's the other one? Waffle House.
I went to a
The
Cracker
Waffle
Barrel,
House.
I think.
They were-
Me and Doc went to Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, Cracker Barrels are also iconic.
Hush Puppies. As a Canadian man, way to go, America. America.
Merca.
Fucking Hush Puppies, man. Those little balls, I don't know what the fuck that was. What are they?
I don't know. I don't know what's in a hush puppy.
Fried.
I'm not from that part of the world, friend.
Well,
We got some people out there. You
Start
southern
traveling.
people, if you're still around, and haven't taken off before we do our last hit of the night. If you know what's in a hush puppy, shout out. I believe they're covered in cornmeal, regardless of what's on the inside.
Something like that.
Yeah, and they're
Like I went,
delicious.
where'd I go? I went New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and then back again. And it was in Indiana where I stopped. And
Tigro says cornmeal. Cornmeal it's not pure cornmeal though, is it? Or is it?
it was good.
I thought there was also something on the inside, but
Apparently Indiana is not very friendly, and I was wearing my sweatshirt that says Canadian Indoor Cannabis Grower.
well, let me tell you a little something about
Big
Indiana. Indiana wants me, but I can't go back there.
Doc is just laughing at me.
Yeah, of all of the corn-fed, corn belt states, both red and blue or whatever you want to call them, legal and illegal, Indiana's probably the worst one. Pennsylvania and Indiana are the two that are still kind of nasty.
That was quite the road trip, man.
Did you
13
like
hours? No, not.
that? You gotta
Nothing really to see.
about-
Like we drove through just a bunch of cities, right? Like
Mhm.
just on a highway or an interstate, and
Well, yes.
would have been on the motorcycle. Would have liked it a little more, I think. Would have been able to get like Finger Lakes in New York on the motorcycle. Prime time. That was really nice. Some wine.
I wonder what it would cost you to fly out to somewhere in Ohio and me pick you up and take you the rest of the way to the camp this year.
Well, let's find out.
Yeah, there's a lot of places you can. There's a lot of flexibility since you aren't bringing things back and forth anyway. You save yourself a whole dang day.
Yeah. 9. Pricey. $750.
900, $750. We'll have to
Yeah.
wait till we get close and see if we can flex around that. But yeah, there's a lot of. I'll
Trust me,
have
with
to.
the new motorcycle, vroom vroom.
Hey, there you go. Oh, crotch rocket. New
Yeah, I don't mind
car.
riding that thing. I just put a new exhaust on it today. Like I said, it's obnoxiously loud. I might have to do something with that.
I'll say this about taking your car instead of your motorcycle if you're going any kind of a distance is it starts raining and shit. You don't have to go under a bridge. And when you're tired and want to pull over, you can actually sleep in the freaking vehicle.
Yeah,
That's what I do when I'm traveling. I didn't have any problem when I'd go down to South Carolina. It was double-digit hours to get there. And I had to stop. I just couldn't do a whole full, I don't know, it was 13 hours or 14 hours, something ridiculous. I had to stop in the middle, like a early morning, parked at McDonald's and watched them cleaning inside. And yeah, I'm going to take a little nappy right here. Worked great.
Yeah, that is a bonus about that. You give and takes with that. I find because like you know what it's like on a motorcycle, the sights and sounds and smells and stuff. It's a little different, right?
Oh yeah.
So I trade some of the comforts of a car for the cool factor of the bike, right?
The cool factor. Okay,
You get
well,
bugs in the- you know, it's different. You got to have that blood. You know.
yeah. Well, you only did the 6 hours, so if you're gonna do more than 6 hours, because I don't know if Doc or Big Word will be going this year too. I haven't heard from either of them as far as
Oh,
Doc is situational with Doc. I think to see where we are and what he's got going on.
Mhm.
He's got
Tiger
some
did some
crazy
digging
hours.
for us. Looked up flour, egg, onion, spices. Yeah, man, it was deadly.
Yeah, that sounds good. Actually, I did not eat yet.
I know, I'm
As I
hungry, so
close
I'm
out
gonna
this
read the cover when we're done.
As
here.
I close out this podcast, I'm going to have a couple little pieces of chocolate, and then I'm going to have to find some real food before my chocolate turns me into a piece of goo.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some cheese.
At this moment in the evening, thank you everybody in chat who stuck around this long, listening to me babble and G-Bay kind of keep things together for us both. Thank you, G-Bay, and that's my time to thank you.
Anytime,
I do enjoy having you on. You might not be a growing feminist, but you do grow the femmes. So
I got a lot.
you know what? You are supportive of the females in your community, and there can't be enough said about people who do that. Not everybody thinks of us as an equal, but you do, and I know you do. So thank you.
Supportive all around.
And on that note, I am going to say good night. I'll play my exit song that I have from my friend TARDIS. I gotta find it here real quick. And we can get high until it closes.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thanks, TARDIS. You demand.
Lucas Gardner's got a spark so bright. In her 60s, but she's living it right. Sex positive with a life so bold. Every Friday night, the LSD unfolds. In the Army, she's always there. Chatting with friends without a care. Lucas Gardner's got a story to tell. And no, she didn't kill her husband. All is well. She's living life with passion and flair. In every conversation, she's got love to share. With a wink and a smile, she lights up the room. Every Friday's trip is a psychedelic bloom. In the halls of life, to the depths of fun, Lucas Gardner's journey's just begun. In the garden of life, she's the blooming rose. A spirit wherever she goes. In the Irie Army, she's always there. Chatting with friends without a care. Lucas Gardner's got a story to tell. And no, she didn't kill her husband. All is well.
Oh, it's going again. Stop. Pause. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. G-Bay, especially you. If you're going to be around a little bit, pop over to Discord. I'll probably be going over there. I got to get a little something in my belly. And anybody else, too. See you guys over there. Have a great night. And on that note, goodbye and goodbye.